Hello, everyone. I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. You are in for a treat tonight. Let me tell you, I started this show called Sisters of Wellness because I wanted to bring to you women who are doing incredible things, pouring into the lives of other women. And tonight is no exception. All the way from Memphis, Tennessee, Johnnie Walker, thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Johnnie, your resume is incredible. It is incredible in the music industry and something that you and I share in common. I started at a country music station.
Girl, stop the madness.
Just like you did.
Yeah, well, then you already know. You already know
it. Yeah, to get into this industry, you come through by any means necessary. And for me, and apparently for you, a country music radio station that took you all the way to Russell Simmons, to New York, to LA, back to Memphis, starting this incredible organization, helping other women in the entertainment industry in the United States, Canada, and the continent, Africa. That's amazing.
Yes. That's every day. That's what we do every day.
Every day.
Every day. Every single day. And I always laugh, especially with our girls. And listen, I don't want anybody to be offended because when I say girls, it's totally affectionate. But because I know they all grown women making it happen. But when the girls in Africa, sometimes when they'll call me and it's like I think they are like 7 hours ahead of us, something like that.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous time that it is like it's like when it's 9 o'clock in the morning here, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon there.
Yeah. So this industry that you've been in, and then you start this organization, mainly because you saw what was going on, but starting in radio, and then what was it that you saw that inspired you to want to help other women in the music and entertainment industry?
I think more or less it was the challenges that I was experiencing. And obviously a lot of times you think that when you're going through things that it's just you. It's like, okay, well, you might even say to yourself, well, they don't like me, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. You second guess yourself. But I think for me that just seeing so many things, I just asked myself one day, I cannot be the only one. I just can't. It's like when I really started the organization, and by the way, in case anybody doesn't know, it's NABFEM, the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment. When we started it, it was a frustration of just going to all the conferences, because back then we didn't have Facebook, no Twitter, certainly no StreamYard, none of these tools that we have today. And so if you wanted people to know who you were, if you wanted to get your skill sets in front of people, you really had to go to these conferences and be visible and be that person, so to speak. And so I would be going to all of these conferences, and rarely did I see a woman speaking. Rarely was the keynote was never a woman. That just was not. And it was like on the panels, they may have one woman, that's a may, not always did they even have a woman on the panels. And so I would always say, who's addressing my issues? Who's addressing what I deal with? And so, just reaching out to some other sisters. And like I said, I found out I was not the only one. I was not. And so it just became a situation of me committing to putting the framework together for the organization and just doing it. I also, when I was, like I said, I was in country radio, but I also had a stint in R&B radio. And during that time, we were in a meeting one day, and every time it's always like females 18 to 34, females 18 to 34, but there were no females making any decisions. And so I said to the guy, my general manager, I said, there should be a woman doing this, because everything that y'all are talking about, it's all about women's buying behavior, shopping patterns, housekeeping. Everything is about women, but it's all men making the decisions. And he said to me, women don't program. We do the midday show, but we don't program. And I said, why? He says, well, women just don't program. And then he asked me, tell me a female program director that you know. Unfortunately, at that particular time, I could not name a female program director. I didn't know one. So I set out then. I said, okay, I'm going to program this radio station. Okay, that was a joke then, but I made sure that it became a reality. And so the last 2 years that I was at this particular radio station, I was the program director. So it was just from that to going into the record industry and just seeing a lot of the holes there, just seeing a lot of the things that just like we didn't matter. It's like we are good to do the work. But when it came down to making the decision, okay, they go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, no, this is not good. This is not good. We have to change this.
Johnnie Walker, who is a trailblazer in the music industry, leading the way for other women, and then just deciding they're not here. How do we get here? Let me start an organization that incorporates every aspect of entertainment, from what you're wearing, what you look like, who your agents are going to be, and to the actual music, the movies, all of it. So this organization that you started, and then I don't want to go too far in that, but again, this is an organization, the name of the organization is National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment.
Correct.
You can find it on the internet. It is open to those who would like to join it. But when you said that the guy said to you, but women don't program, that just, I'm just going to rest in that for a little bit because I wish you had thought to say, but one gave birth to you.
Well,
and I think about
let me say this.
What?
I thought that, but you got
to keep your job.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful. I mean, things weren't then like they are now, and that's
still uncomfortable even now.
It was.
I think.
Well, we really would have went into a battle on that one.
But isn't that something that we have the cellular authority to create life, yet the ability to do other things get questioned? Now, I think they took that scripture a little too far that said that women are the weaker vessel. I think it was about strength, not about intellectual capacity. And that's what's thrown this whole thing out of whack, that we're still talking about first for women and what they can do and what they can accomplish. It is baffling that I can carry you 40 weeks in my womb, but when you come out of me, then I don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. It really is. But, that is the culture and life that, we've lived in. And so I just say for all of those sisters, trailblazers before myself, before all of us, the fact that they had the wherewithal to say enough is enough.
Yes.
And that goes all the way back to suffrage, when women couldn't vote.
Right.
So it's
when it was thought that them voting would be a waste of a vote because they could not understand the complexities of something that they came up with. Isn't that interesting? So, it's just interesting. And that's why I wanted to do this show, to continue to highlight women like you who continue to do these incredible things. So you worked with Russell Simmons.
Yes.
On Jay-Z's album, on The Nutty Professor, on The Clumps. I mean, just you were rolling it in LA and in New York. What was that like for you, seeing these kinds of things go on? And how did you go there and move your way around into the position that you stepped into as VP of promotion for Def Jam?
One of the things that I always say, because I speak before COVID, I speak at a lot of schools, but I still talk to a lot of young people on, platforms like this. Find your, in sales, it's always a USP, your unique selling position. Determine what it is that you are unique at. What is it that you do? And you do it so well that at this company, like, oh my gosh, we cannot continue without this person, because this person specializes in whatever that unique thing is about you. For me, I went into Def Jam. It's a young company. So just, let me paint a picture for you here. It was a young company. It was a young, emerging art form. We didn't have Whitney Houston. We didn't have Michael Jackson, Gladys Knight. We didn't have artists like that. So we had Third Base. We had Public Enemy. We had LL Cool J. So just thinking along those terms. And this was in the beginning. This is when it's all budding, just starting. So with the mindset of creating the music and delivering the music to the public and whatever, nuances that they had by being a partner of Columbia at that time, the one thing that I brought into the company that nobody had was I brought a knowledge of radio. I knew the back end of radio, not just being a DJ. Now, they knew all the DJs, hang out with the DJs. But what they didn't know, that DJ, he was cool, but he couldn't play what he wanted to play. He couldn't do what he wanted. He or she couldn't do what they wanted to do. Everything had to go past the program director. So having been a program director for a radio station for 2 years, but I had come up in the ranks being the DJ, I knew the ins and outs of radio. I knew the background. I knew how to get a record scheduled. I knew if it was a record that they didn't like, that we could find a time to put it in. I made sure my whole concept was to show radio programmers how to win with my music. And that was the really different thing, because everybody else was like, play my song. Can you give me some more spins? Can you add my song? I never did that. I always went to those radio stations with concepts of how they could take this particular record or this particular artist and win with it. And a little quick story was, we had a record that nobody was playing. Nobody liked it. They was like, next. But there was a record, number one, that, we had put a lot into, believed in it, believed in the artist. And I would just go to these radio stations and be like, no. And so I had a radio station. I said, listen, you have your big event coming up. You need an artist to perform at this event. Now, who do you have? At that particular time, she didn't have anybody. And it was a female program director. And I said to her, if you will start to play this record, I guarantee you by the time your event comes around, this record is going to be hot. This artist is going to be hot, and you're going to win in your market. I know you are. And I mean, the thing about it is, I guess maybe I was believable. My pitch was good. Mm-hmm. At it. The record, the really funny thing about the record, because we was doing a lot of things around this record, it's just that people didn't feel it. The record was Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It. And so she took me at my word, started playing the record. I was doing all kind of little promotions. I was doing little call-ins. I was doing all kind of stuff, because the main thing is I didn't want her to lose, because that would have been horrible for her to lose. So, but the record, I mean, come on, it already had the children's story background. That was him. We had just beefed it up a little bit. We funked it up a little bit, made it a little bit more R&B-ish, if you will. And it was very popular. And I'm telling you, the funny part is, her competitor in that market, oh my God, he hated me. He told me, don't you come to my station. I couldn't come on the grounds. I couldn't do anything, because this is a record that he didn't believe in. But at this point, the other program director had this, because I guaranteed her. And I just got to say, then it's taking risks, because obviously I can't guarantee that an artist is going to be somewhere, but I just took a chance.
Well, don't you think that you must have an ear and a feel?
Yes. You gotta. I mean, I have a lot of records. I would say in my journey, I've had records that Russell, they said no, they threw out. We're not doing it. One of those records, a little group out of LA called Moke and Steph, and the song was "He's Mine." Mm-hmm. I might have had him once, but I have him all the time. They said, get out of here. That record's not going to happen. And so we're not going to spend any more money on it. We're not going to market it anymore. We're not, boom, get it out of here. I just believed in the record. I knew that it just needed a little bit more time. They just wanted it like pow right now. And so I would just tell my staff, I said, guys, listen, in your spare time, if there's some extra time that you have, that you can talk to your programmers about this particular record, let's not abandon this record. I don't think this record is over. So it wasn't me disrespecting my superiors. It's just that I believed in the record. And so the record
But why do you think they believed you? Now, did you, what was the rate of time that you got yeses and nos?
Well, in the record industry, yeses are pretty immediate. I'm sorry, no's pretty immediate. Yeses, you generally got to work to them unless it's like undeniable. And that's pretty rare. Every once in a while, Michael Jackson, I guess you could say he was undeniable. But, let me tell you, we had so many Jay-Z records. Probably like, really? Come back when you got a hit. They wouldn't play those records. They wouldn't play them. So
is that right?
Oh yeah, we had this song. Golly, what's the name of it? I'm going to call it "Living for the City." That may not have been the name of it, but he was using Glenn Fry's "You Belong to the City," and I think we called it "Living for the City." Oh my God, radio stations was like, if you don't stop calling me.
Really?
And so it's always those songs that they don't hear. They simply do not hear. And if you give up, if they tell you no and you accept no, then really, that artist doesn't have a chance. He just does not.
Because you can't, you have to treat no as a song. Like, I'm going to hear this over and over again, but I keep going.
You are going to hear it over and over again. Something I learned, and at the time it didn't really resonate with me. But my father, when I wanted to be in radio so badly, and every time I would go to this country radio station, and of course I knew they were going to tell me no every time. And I would go home feeling so dejected, so down. And my dad would say, honey, they told you no because you didn't give them enough to say yes. Now, I don't know. It's like I use that today because then I kept saying, well, I did this, I did that, I did this. But when you really think about it, what he was saying to me was, your yes is there. You just got to keep digging for it. You haven't done enough to get your yes. So you just got to go back. And I would always say, Dad, I'm not going back there anymore. Those people don't like me. I'm Black. I'm a woman. They're never going to hire me. And he would say, well, if you keep saying that, you really won't ever get it.
So what year was that? When was that happening, Johnny?
What year?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this was like 1979, 1980. This was in
Yeah.
And I was in Grenada.
That's when I started in radio.
Yeah. It was like,
and
no, not happening.
Radio. And the funny thing was, I had a caller to call in and said, Pamela, I really like listening to you, but I wish you'd stop trying to sound like you're Black.
Wow.
That's my favorite story from the country radio station where I worked. What do you say to people? Go ahead.
My guy told me that with all my tapes, he told me, he said, the word is not, he said, you say something. The word is something. He said, you just kill the ing words. And he said, and you say axe. Axe, you cut wood with an axe. And I would just never forget that guy. And I would practice on those words. And the really funny thing, when they hired me, I went up to him and I had my tape in my hand and he started laughing. He said, what is different on this tape than all the rest of them that you brought down here? And I was telling him how I had practiced on those ing words and all the words. I was no longer chopping words up. And he was like, go inside and have a seat. I went inside and have a seat and he hired me. He didn't even listen to the tape.
Is that right?
No, he didn't listen to it. He just said, okay. Because she's going to keep coming.
I will either hire her or she'll just keep coming here.
She's going to keep coming.
So this organization that you started, the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment, what all does that consist of?
Wow. Well, right now, it consists of a mantra to inspire, to educate, to empower. So everything that we do circles around those three words. So whether we are inspiring women, and listen, I always tell men, kind of like the description you gave a few minutes ago, you can't spell the word woman without those last three letters, M-A-N. Can't spell women without those last three letters, M-E-N. So we invite our brothers to be a part of what we're doing. They just have to understand who we are, what we're trying to accomplish, and this is not a skirt chase. So as long as they can get that, they're more than welcome to be a part of what we're doing. So inside this, we teach, we host seminars, we host meetings. Sometimes our meetings they're not so scripted, so to speak. You know what I mean? We may have a Smart Women Meetup. Smart Women Meetup is just simply an opportunity for you to pitch who you are. You would be surprised that when you ask people what they do, they go, oh, well, I can do everything. I can't nobody hire you because you can do everything. What do you do?
Right.
So it's kind of like creating those scenarios where we talk to people about pitching themselves or selling themselves, that unique selling position that I talked about a minute ago. And a lot of times we'll have women, successful women, that are willing to come and share their information, in meetings or what have you. We do seminars, we do our live showcases, because we coined a term that we called the invisible star. We felt like there are so many women out here that they are the complete package. They may not look like Beyonce, but they could give Beyonce give her a run for her money, because some of them are great musicians, some of them are great vocalists, some of them are great engineers, some of them are great band leaders, some of them do a lot of great things in this industry, but trying to get that break is so very difficult. So we created Women Who Jam to show all of the different nuances that women can and they do manage, in regards to producing a song, whether it's in the studio producing it, whether it's the musicians in the studio playing. No, we don't need tracks. We got real musicians over here. We got some sisters over here that can play the horns, sisters that can play the guitar, sisters that are drummers, sisters that are keyboardists, so it's everything that we do. We want them to feel inspired. We want them to be empowered in that we are the yes. So, before COVID, we had a partnership with, this is a casino. It was a partnership, Horseshoe. We had a partnership with Horseshoe. And so, the casinos have really nice stages. The lighting as well, the audio is just lovely. So this was perfect for us to take an off night, so to speak, and pack them in. And so we had so many sisters that would come out and perform, and it just would turn out to be just a really great show. The stage manager was a woman. Obviously, the band, all female band. The artists that are performing, female. So we were just trying to show what women do in this particular setting. I would say it was right after the election. Right after the election, the Democratic National Committee came to us about we wanted to celebrate Pennsylvania and celebrate in Georgia, because that was part of the historic win too. Georgia turning blue.
Absolutely.
And so what occurred in Pennsylvania was pretty historic too, because we know the party that won the last time around. So they asked me, what we were going to do was a Women Who Jam was going to be live. We had the venue, we had all of that, and we were just praying that COVID would have subsided, or maybe it was contained in some way. But obviously that didn't happen. But what we were able to do was get some amazing artists. We recorded it and we played it. It was on Facebook Live, on YouTube, all of those platforms. And I mean, it was absolutely amazing. We had 6 performers and a spoken word artist, and the others, were vocalists. And I mean, we've got politicians. I can tell us, okay, we have to be careful with you politicians, but so many of them that are calling us wanting to know, can we do similar things? And obviously when COVID changes, can we do a live setting in something that they're doing? And so obviously we're looking at it. We're looking at what we can do. But my point is, they could have gone anywhere. They could have gone anywhere. We did it in Philadelphia. I felt that it was a lot easier for me to do it in Philadelphia, that I could put the band together quicker. I could get the artists quicker. And it's just a lot of the artists, musicians, and what have you that I'm familiar with on the East Coast. I just felt the challenge would be greater for me in Atlanta. So I chose Pennsylvania. And we did a stellar program. It was amazing. So again, we're just showing the talents of women in entertainment, whether it's a female host, and we had a female, it's a female host, whether it's a female vocalist, whether it's a female musician, whatever the case may be. We come back because we've expanded, what we do. And when we started out, it was all about music. It was all about music, radio, records. Obviously, the record industry has changed quite a bit over the years. So we had to expand our reach. And so one of the things that I always tell everyone that's involved in our organization, if you are a musician or you're in music or you're in film, you're in any of these capacities, don't you need a realtor? Don't you need a financial advisor? Don't you need a dentist? Don't you need, I can name off all of the varied fields and disciplines that women specialize in, but those fields and disciplines interact in some way, shape, fashion, or form with people in the music industry. So that's how we were able to expand. So
you initially started this organization, National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment, mainly for music and entertainment, but you decided to make it more spherical, more all-encompassing, because all of the things that people need, it's not just women in the recording world, media and technology, sports, film, and TV and fashion, and as you said, all of the other related industries. How can women who are watching this, how can they get involved?
Real easy. Go to our website, nabfeme.org. First of all, click around, look at it, see if you see what you like, if you see something you like. We encourage you to join the organization. There's a membership link there, but my board will probably smack me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. I realize that membership is not for everybody, and this is what I say to them all the time. It's just not for everybody. Everybody don't want to be a member of the organization, but that does not mean you can't support us. That does not mean you can't be a part of what we're doing. Yes, we need your membership. Yes, it creates a financial reserve for us so that we're enabled to do the things that we need to do. So definitely, please, we encourage people to join us. We also encourage you to donate to us if that fits what you want to do. But even if those two things don't fit what you want to do, and you still want to support us, you still want to see women in entertainment empowered, you still want to see women in entertainment inspired, you still want to see women in entertainment stop losing all their money and start understanding the nuances of this industry and how they can keep their intellectual property and keep some of the financial reserves that they are a part of, or should I say they are responsible for creating, but somebody else walks away with it. If you see that and you say, yes, I want to be a part of that, but I don't want to join the organization, you can share our information to your friends and your colleagues. You can follow us on social media and share our posts. You can attend our events. We have virtual events. Most of them are free. Some we charge for. Again, we have expenses and challenges just like any entity. So definitely everything cannot be free. But however you choose to support our mission, we appreciate it. Obviously, the number one is being a member of the organization because numbers speak.
Yes.
Last week, we did a virtual meetup with the 3 Degrees. We were on air online for about maybe an hour, maybe an hour 15. Over 6,700 people tuned in to that broadcast. Wow. We had almost 1,300 engagements of people sharing and commenting. Listen, that said to me, amazing. When we pulled our numbers, we pulled our 5-day numbers, they were over 8,000.
Wow.
So we know there's so many ways you can help us. And a lot of those people I know, I don't know. But by us having that time with the 3 degrees, and the 3 degrees sharing our messages, and other people that liked what we were doing, sharing it with other people, that helps us to build the numbers. So there are a number of ways that you can support us.
What's your piece of advice for women who are looking to, or already in this industry in some kind of way, or looking to get in the industry? What's your advice? Because, not only have you done all of these things, you still serve as a mentor for so many people. What's the most critical piece of advice that you would give us?
Wow, discipline. I just think my dad taught me, you got to know when to leave the party. And it's real easy to get sucked into the party in this business, so I would say discipline. I would say to any young lady, patience. The time may not be your time, but just because it didn't happen for you right now does not mean it's not going to happen. When I wanted that job at that country station, they didn't hire me, but it wasn't my time. So it's just a lot of things. Discipline, patience, be authentic, be yourself. You don't have to be anybody else. Be yourself. Understand who you are and what is unique about you. That's what you bring to the table. And that's what's going to carry you through. So you be your authentic self, whatever that is. Be you. Be disciplined. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Understand what works for you. Work smart, not hard. You got to work the job and don't let the job work you.
Yeah.
So, discipline, patience, be authentic.
And that's difficult probably for some people.
Yeah.
They're watching so much via social media, via the rap videos, and that's what it looks like the industry is looking for.
Yes.
So they're trying to replicate what they're seeing. What's your advice about that?
I really say the same thing I just said. So right now, no disrespect to anybody, so please no one take it that way. But, it's like Megan Thee Stallion got a video, what's it called, Body? Like 100 million views. Are you kidding me? Then you got an artist over here like Lettucey, probably got 6 or 7 million. Okay. So you gotta ask. So what Megan Thee Stallion is, that says success. That says it's winning. That says this is it. But I just gotta say, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last. And that's not me predicting anything negative for her. I'm not. I'm just simply saying the gimmicks don't last. We are going today. You can probably go online or even at a TV show or something. They'll play a Gladys Knight song works today.
Sure
today.
Does.
A Shaka Khan song works today. If you played I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, you like it today.
Yeah.
Some of these songs last about 3 weeks. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe they last 6 weeks. And they're done. It's when it's over, it's over. I saw a Geico commercial. What's that Geico commercial with the 95? Was it 95 cent? What's the name of the group? Whoop, whoop, there it is. Chocolate. I'm just saying these songs. Saw a Geico commercial with Smokey Robinson cruising. And we know that song got to be like 40 years old.
At least, or more.
At least. So I would just say, think in terms of longevity and not for the moment. And I understand for young people, it's like, I'm trying to get mine now. I don't care about tomorrow. But yeah, at one point, praise God, if you live, tomorrow is going to be very meaningful to you.
Yeah.
You don't need something to lay back on, or fall back on, as they say. And so if you're just doing it for the moment, that I can take all my clothes off and strip naked in the video and I'm going to be hot. Well, it may be for right now, but I promise you that's not going to last. Because even the body that's in the video a little bit further on down the road, it's not going to look the same either. So
right.
You just need to think in terms of longevity. Let me
But you
treat
know what? And
something.
the difficulty in that is it seems as if the industry is not interested in that because Nancy Wilson. No, I went to see Nancy Wilson, um, Johnny Matthews, Johnny Mathis. Johnny Mathis was 82 years old
Mhm.
and still incredible voice and still performing the stuff that meant something. Now, Beyonce can't do that at 82.
She can do. Who ruled the world?
Not at 82.
Well, I don't know about that beehive. That beehive is pretty strong. But
She's not gonna be able to do it at 82.
I
Sorry.
guess I would say that what the artists do today is they don't cultivate real fan bases. The reason why those artists that you said, like a Johnny Mathis or like I said, a Gladys Knight, those people have core fans. Even though they might be old, it doesn't matter. Look at. I think I saw Patti LaBelle on Good Morning America today. They still are relevant. They
Hmm.
still maintain their relevancy, and they have a core fan base. A lot of these are artists. Their core fan base is their friends on Twitter, their friends on Facebook, their likes on Instagram, and that you are point and click away from losing that person. Because if that person want to leave, they can leave, click, they can unfollow you, unfollow, bye, bye. So no real relationships are made.
Yeah, let's talk about
So-called fans, so to speak.
social media's impact on
Mhm.
this industry as far as what artists being able to sell, artists being able to promote, more artists that are able to get their stuff out there via the platform that everybody's on, and also, okay, just talk about that. What's the good and bad of that?
Well, the good and bad of that is technology certainly made it easier, but for a lot of us, technology did not make it better. Okay, so that's the good and bad as I see it. Yes, it's easier to put your music out there. Yes, it's easier. You now have more control of your music. Yes, there are a lot of things that the technology has provided you with. But when I say better, if you don't understand marketing, okay, you put your music out there, don't understand scheduling, don't understand anything about the setup and rollout of your music. You just throwing it out there and hope something sticks. hmm I wouldn't tell anybody to sign to a record label. And I spent the bulk, a big, huge portion of my career at a record label, record labels, so to speak. And I understand the beauty of the technology now, but you also got to do some more work. You've got to understand, marketing. You've got to understand communications. You've got to understand organizing, planning, structure. You can just make a record and throw it out there. Now, listen, there are exceptions to the rule. I don't think nobody thought Old Town Road, whatever that song was
I
going
don't
to
know
be
it.
as big as it was. So there are exceptions to the rule. But the thing is, it's not one size fit all. So nobody else came along and did that. So because it worked for him, does not necessarily mean it's going to work for you. So I think that having access to the technology obviously is amazing. It's great, but there are other nuances that an artist has. The thing that I believe, and again, this is my concept. I believe that an artist has to take the technology, but the artist has to understand that you're everything. You're the publicist, you're the marketer, you're the promotions person, you're the business manager, you're the financial manager, you're the lawyer. I mean, if you're gonna try to do it all by yourself, I mean, you do need a team, but all of those disciplines that I just named off, to have someone to do those for you. And if you don't have that, then you got to do what you got to do to understand the nuances of what is it publicist. So I've had people come to me and say, I just need a publicist, but have no kind of a story. So what is the publicist going to do? You want a publicist, but a publicist has nothing to take to anybody. So you haven't created any kind of story. Now,
So
is the
you
publicist gonna take your money? She might. Yeah, he might. I don't know. I can't speak for that, but understand that with your music and with your career, and you're not over here with somebody else handling these things for you, then you got to be smart enough You got to be intuitive enough. You got to have the tenacity, the strength, the guts to go and learn it. You have to understand marketing, because if you can't just make a record and let me throw it out there, somebody gonna like it.
Or as they say, I dropped it.
Yeah, I dropped it and let me see. And then, like a lot of times they drop records and then like don't understand why nobody picks it up or likes it or anything like that. And the other thing that I tell artists will make a record. It can be a good record too. Now, but see, they have lived with this song. This is very important. They have lived with this song. It could be 6 months. It could even be a year. That song is old to them. So they'll put it out there and it don't catch on right then. They are back in the studio. They're back to doing whatever it is to come with another song, but have not done anything really to deliver that first song. And it's like, you're so busy trying to come with my new song. The other one is new to a lot of people because they never heard it. And when I say never, I mean never. So you got to have a plan. It's like if I hopped in my car, you say you're in Florida. Well, I'm in Memphis. So if I want to come and see you, Miss Marshall, and I get in my car, if I don't have GPS or map, chances are I'm not going to get to you. I'm not going to make it there. I'm going to make a lot of wrong turns trying to get to Florida to find you. I know if I get on the highway, I got my car, get on the highway. I know it's south, so I'm just going to hit the road and go south, thinking I'm going to somehow land in Florida. Who would do that? I don't even think anybody would do that. So your music is the same way. Just like I need a roadmap to get from Memphis to Florida, you need a roadmap to get from your house to your fans' ears. You have to have a plan for that. It's not just going to materialize and happen.
And so people feel like today, there's so many people who feel like they can download some beats, record something, and put it out there, and it's just going to happen. What are the steps that you suggest people do?
Well, that's another call.
Okay.
I would say the first thing that you should do is define your target market. That's the first thing. Who likes what you do? Who cares? If you sing the Campbell Soup song, who would listen? So define your target audience. That would be the first thing I would say. So you know where you're going with this song. Not your friends, not your family, not your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Real people that this is my audience. Secondly, sit down. I know it's old school. You might not want to do it, but you better sit down and you want to define, like I said, you want to define your target audience. Sit down and create some lists. And I know that's old school, but sometimes you got to take an old idea and make it new again. When I say lists, you need to know who the DJs are, whether they're DJs that play in clubs, DJs that play in corporate events or what have you, DJs that play at the radio stations, DJs that's on internet radio. Who is playing music? Who? We're going to call them all, for lack of a better term, we're going to call them all DJs. Who is playing music that might possibly play your song? Those are your lists. Your list is your Bible. That's your DJ. Now you need your social media list. What groups can you go on social media and find that will allow you to send them your music and play your music? Those lists, like I said, that's your Bible. That's your Bible. The list, because when COVID when COVID is eradicated, we pray, and contained. And so here you are with your song. Where you going with? You don't even know where to go with it. So right now, while COVID should be really good for you right now if you're an artist, because this is the perfect time for you to assemble your list of artists. Assemble your list. There are radio stations out there that play new artists, but you just got to dig and find them. No, you want to be on iHeartMedia. That's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. That's a nice goal. Chances are it's not going to happen. So, but there are other radio stations out there that will play your music. So you just got to do the work and find out who they are. So those lists are extremely important to you. Now you need a venue list because, like I said, after COVID, we hope, we pray, and some of them are beginning to open up around the country. What venue will let you come in and do live? I think I jumped the gun. Can you do a show? Can you?
Can you get on stage?
Can you get on stage? Can
Right,
you do
right. Because I think that's the other thing. People don't understand that there's a difference that
Oh,
you're
my
recording something in the comfort of your closet than standing on stage live. It's a different kind of thing. It's a different kind of animal, and not everybody be ready for that. They
I can't
think
do
they
it.
are, but
I
not
tell
everybody
you,
is ready for that.
I tell you, the most terrifying thing for me, when I was a DJ at the radio station, I thought that was lovely. I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to do the clubs. I wanted to do the parties. I wanted to do the events. I just knew I could do it. I had a board. My boyfriend had, back then, like it is now, had this really nice board he had built for me. And I was totally ready to hit those clubs, man. I was ready. I'm telling you, it's a different ball game when you're sitting there and everybody looking straight in your mouth like, what you doing?
Right.
Oh,
Right. You can do it, but
can do
don't
it.
be deceived. It is
That's it.
not the same thing
Not the
recording in your closet and standing on stage.
It's not the same thing at all.
Listen, you've worked on #1 gold and platinum albums with Jay-Z, LL Cool J, DMX, Kelly Price, just to name a few. What was, and for people who don't know these artists before they get a hit,
Mhm.
as Patti LaBelle said, she was an overnight success after singing for 23 years in
Really?
clubs. And so people see what they see.
Uh-huh.
They don't understand, as you said, you had a lot of Jay-Z stuff that people wouldn't play.
Right. Right. Well, it's like, I guess if anybody were to look into, say, Beyonce's story, I mean, she'll be a good example. I mean, she's huge now. She's Queen Bee. She's it. Nobody tops Beyonce. But just if you back it up, you'll see like 7 years old. Um, her dad had her performing. I mean, she was performing. She's been doing it a very long time. Right now, we're all enamored with her, the artist HER. Look into her background. That little child been playing since she was like 10 years old. And
Mhm.
she's playing piano. She can play piano. She can play drums. She can play guitar. She can play bass. But she's been playing since she was 10. So, but nobody really looks into that. It's just what we see now. So that's what makes you think that that person might be an overnight success. But some of these people have been at it for a very long time. And it's like what I said a minute ago, that time was not your time. But now, they've had the discipline, or they had parents that, stuck with them and helped them to maintain their patience and their discipline. And, the time is now. But
And
it's,
it's hard work.
it's a lot of work.
It's
It is.
it's a lot of
It's a
work.
lot of work. I don't care if you want to be the vice president of, you might want to be the vice president of marketing. You're not just, I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. Let me put my disclaimer back out there. But chances are, in order for you to be the vice president of marketing for Federal Express, I'm just making up some stuff here, you're not just going to walk in the door and be the vice president of marketing for Federal Express. You might have to be in the whatever department. I don't know. But it takes, you have to take each step. Whatever those steps are, you have to take those steps. There's no elevator to success. And if you manage to jump on top with the very first, and we were talking, some people were talking about this in Clubhouse the other day. I was in a room that people have the big record, and then they're not able to come back with the second big record. And that's something that I've always said. I wouldn't want a big record first, because you can't duplicate it. It's so hard to come back to because everybody's going to judge you by that really huge record that you had. I really prefer, and I know that's kind of hard for anybody to receive or accept, But I would prefer step by step by step by step. So when I get to the top, it's gonna be hard to move me because I've hit every step, every step. Look at Michael Jackson. You know, it was like the little kid. He just hit every step. You know, it's not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nothing is perfect. But I just, you know, if you are fortunate enough to get a big record one time, it's almost like a cross, because you get judged by that every time. And I'm sure Montel Jordan, everywhere if he don't want to perform This Is How We Do It, he still got to figure out, oh, gotta do it, because that's the song, you know.
That is the song.
That's the song.
74 years old.
That was as big as that one. So it's like, that's your song.
That's what everybody wants to hear.
They want to hear This Is How We Do It, baby.
84, you got to sing This Is How We Do It.
You got to sing This Is How We Do It. Sorry.
And I don't even know a lot of songs, and I know that one. Johnnie Walker.
That was a great song.
Yeah. Johnnie Walker, opening the doors for so many women, increasing the awareness of women in entertainment. You've been honored by so many people with so many awards. You are a Delta Sigma Theta sorority sister. You got a Greek sister in the White House in Vice President Kamala Harris. That's got to make you proud as well.
Oh, absolutely. Now, let me clarify something. I'm not Delta Sigma Theta. My daughter is, but
You received an award from them.
I received the Osceola Award, which is the highest honor that Delta Sigma Theta gives to professionals in the arts. So
you didn't want to pledge alumni?
I did not. I'll let my daughter have that.
It's okay.
Oh boy. But you know, it's really a great time now. You know, finally we matter. Finally, what we have to say matter. If you just look in the news, all of these corporations now, everybody want to do the right thing now. Before it didn't matter. Or before, if it did matter, they just looked beyond. I think now finally we have the floor. Finally, 20 years ago when we started NABFEM, it didn't matter. No matter how many times we said certain things, you know, we just have to fight and claw to just get a meeting, to fight and claw to just get a room so we could have a meeting. But here we are today in 2021 with the Vice President of the United States being a woman. So that's why I say finally we have the floor. Finally, what we purchase matters. Where we shop matters. Where we go matters. What we like matters. What we don't like matters. So it's finally, and it's a very exciting time. This is probably the most exciting time to be a Black woman in America. Because, you know, if you just, like I said, look online, all of these companies with their diversity and inclusion divisions are actually, used to be, that was just title. He's the Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion. Can't do nothing.
Yeah. Their diversity and inclusion was that the fact they hired this person.
Oh yeah, they just hired somebody. It looked good on paper.
Right.
But now they are actually enacting and making these departments really playing an active role. Everybody from, you know, like Chick-fil-A, because I got a bunch of them on my desk over here. Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, AutoZone, just so many of them that have set aside millions of dollars to pour into the African American community. And so a lot of these companies, they want to do the right thing. And
Hallelujah.
So now is a good time. Now it's a good time.
You're giving them an opportunity with this organization that you started. It is an organization comprised of 20 networks in the US, Canada, and in Africa.
Yes.
An organization that you started 20 years ago because you wanted to do the right thing. And we appreciate the fact that you have garnered this wealth of experience and knowledge over the years, and you're not just going to take it to the rocking chair. You want to share it with other women and inspire and uplift. We honor you tonight, Ms. Johnnie Walker. We thank you.
I appreciate you and thank you. This has been an honor. I always enjoy sharing what I know. Hopefully it helps somebody else to grow. And if you can learn something from something of my experiences, I'm totally willing to share those experiences.
And the organization is the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment. You can go to the website to find out more about the organization, how you can get involved, how you can become a member, or how you can support the efforts of all of these women who are involved in the entertainment industry in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it is fashion or related disciplines. Even everybody's got to have some insurance.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
And listen, we use the technology just like everybody else. We're on this new app, Clubhouse, and tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, I'm sorry, this evening, because we moved it down so that I could be here for this. And then this evening at
okay.
8 o'clock Central Time, that would be 6 o'clock if you're on the West Coast and 9 o'clock on the East Coast. It is called Momagers. Nobody knows my baby like me. We have 6 women. They're all mothers who manage their children. So if you've been sending out photos, if you've been trying to figure out how to get your child in that Gap commercial, you've been trying to figure out how to get your child in the whatever commercial or commercial, radio commercial, TV commercial, ad, clothing ad, or whatever, any child acting or something like that. If you're on Clubhouse, join us this evening at, like I said, it is 6 o'clock on the West Coast, going to be 8 o'clock for me in Central Time, and 9 o'clock on the East Coast. And it's on Clubhouse. And once you go in there, just put our name in there, NABFEME, NABFEM. And we have 6 amazing women whose children are currently, we got a one lady, her child is in, what's the Mixes? I know I probably didn't say it right. It was an offshoot of Blackish. Well, she got her daughter is in Mixes. It's the show about children of mixed parentage. We have a mother, her son does Baby Gap, Gap commercials, things of, I mean, it's the gamut of child acting. And
look, we have Josette Jenkins Golette. She is a fashion designer. She certainly needs to be a part of your organization. She's in Texas. Great interview. Thanks, Pam and Miss Johnnie Walker. You should see her stuff. It's amazing.
I'm going to go and look when this is over.
Yeah,
yes.
Amazing. She had a virtual fashion show that was incredible.
Okay, awesome.
So this on Clubhouse tonight, I'm gonna tune in.
Yeah, please.
Will.
So you're Eastern time, right?
Right.
So it's 9 o'clock for you.
Right. I'll be sure to tune in.
Okay.
That will be very interesting, and probably also, Miss Johnnie Walker. What about people who want to get into modeling over 50?
Oh, well, that's a good one. I mean, I don't know. I we do have like some sisters that are pretty, heavy into plus size modeling. I don't know. I really don't, because we have a lady, we call her Lady Leah, who is in that plus, in that age demographic, and she's doing extremely well. How she's doing, like she's on all of the Colonial Penn commercials. She does a lot of the Boost Mobile, not Boost Mobile, Boost that drink, that energy.
Yeah.
She does a lot of that. And
Cool.
She and I talk a lot about being, over 50 and still getting work. I actually don't know, but I think that I would say you need an agent. That's what I would say, because I don't know where those opportunities are. Yeah, I would think you need an agent that can plug you into, because we have a sister that is the voice of Radio City Music Hall. All the time, I never knew that, that's what she did. And one day when she told me, she said, when was the last time you was at Radio City? And I said, well, I was there. This is before COVID, for the, what do you call it? When the Christmas time, and learned that she was the voice. She was the voice. So she does a lot of voiceovers, and things of that nature. But what gets a lot of work for her, she has an agent. So I would think that it might be better once you get a certain age that you have somebody representing you and telling you where those opportunities are.
It is. It is.
It's kind of hard, just not pounding on the pavement, knocking on the door.
Right. Miss Johnnie Walker, opening doors, connecting people, making it happen. This is the age of the woman, and especially African American women. And we thank you for being a part of making it happen.
My pleasure.
The organization is the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment. Look her up on the website. Go to Clubhouse tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for a conversation with moms who have children in the industry.
Right.
You are certainly very inspiring, and we appreciate you being a part of Sisters of Wellness as we continue to inspire women to greatness.
It was an absolute honor. Anytime. Anytime I can help or assist, just let me know.
I certainly will do that. And everybody watching, we really thank you for watching. Please like and share. You can go to our YouTube channel, Wellness Radio TV, subscribe to our channel. We certainly appreciate that and always appreciate you watching and your comments and supporting the women who are on Sisters of Wellness. On Thursday, we will continue talking about women on the Timbuktu Report. Tuesday at 7 o'clock, we'll take a look at African American women who have been violated, who have come up against violence in this country, in this United States of America. And their stories, many of those stories, have not been told nor given any kind of credence of significance. We're going to talk about that with Dr. Rick Stevenson this Thursday at 7 p.m. We do hope you will join us. In the meantime, I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. Remember, there is healing at the well. We'll see you next time.